سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid, we ask for His forgiveness. Whomsoever Allah guides, there's none to misguide, and whomsoever Allah misguides, there's none to guide. I bear witness that there's no God worshipped except Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is a servant and messenger of Allah. To proceed, so thanks. I give my thanks to my close friend and brother Abdul from Newcastle for having good thoughts about myself and my other colleagues and speakers today, for inviting us here. It's not the first time I've been to Newcastle, this wonderful and historic city of Newcastle. So it is with great pleasure that I'm humbled to be before yourselves here. I'm conscious of the time and that I've got 20 minutes to speak. So I'm going to make it a bit more interactive. I'm not just going to be here waffling and babbling on. So what I wanted to do was to get from the respected audience, yourselves, before we kick off and start with regards to Islam and Africa. What does anyone know about Islam and Africa? Anyone? Any ideas? Anyone whatsoever? Yeah?
I'm a Muslim from Africa.
Okay, excellent. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Spread by our believers.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to look at that. Yeah, anyone else? Any ideas about this topic, Islam and Africa? Anything whatsoever?
The first hijrah was to Abyssinia.
Yep, okay. First hijrah was to Abyssinia. Anything else? Any other ideas? Yep.
It's got the first universities, some of the greatest universities in the continent.
Good. Some of the first universities in the history of human civilization. Yep, sister. Yep. The first person to call the adhan in the history of Islam was Bilal radiallahu anhu, who was from Ethiopia, which used to be called Abyssinia before. Anyone else? Any other ideas? No? Okay, so some of the themes which we will discuss today have been based upon actually a book which I have authored. It's not yet published. I first started the book, started the book, or putting together the book, about 20 years ago, so 1998, 99. That's when I started putting the book together. And I was looking at a lot of stuff to do with Islam, history of Islam, and the repercussions for Africa, perceptions of Africa. And there were also a lot of concepts as well, why this topic is quite important. There are a lot of ideas and misconceptions, but not just misconceptions. There are also some things which happened historically, which some people may misconstrue with regards to how Islam was spread, and that's what I was concerned about. So, as I mentioned, my book, which is not yet published, I started writing it when I was at university, when I was still doing my BA, so 1998, and I've been putting ideas, putting different themes to it, adding, editing, changing, reviewing a lot of things. So when I first embarked upon writing the book, it was about 60 pages when I was at university. That's 20 years ago. And now, after time has gone on, the book is now 350 pages. So a lot of different things came to light. And there are a lot of, as I mentioned, a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of kind of, you could say, negative notions about how Islam in the relationship with Africa and so forth, and also issues to do with slavery as well, which we're going to discuss. So if at any point during the presentation anyone wants to just put their hands up and ask a question and butt in, no problem, because that's what I do myself when I go to lectures. So if anyone wants to do that, then feel free, put your hand up and then you can ask. There's no problem with that. So, got this. Anyone know where that is?
Timbuktu.
Yeah, Mali. Yeah, it's not actually Timbuktu. It's another city in Mali. Any ideas, anyone? It's called Djenné. So that's the congregation. If in Mali, they have a very distinct kind of style of how they construct their mosques, especially traditionally in this kind of style. Africa in the 6th century. So we've got up on here that there were African kingdoms in northeast Africa, and importantly, as well, and this has been documented as well by Arab historians, Ethiopia in antiquity, especially in the 6th century, they actually controlled, which is known in Arabic as Habasha, they controlled parts of the Arabian Peninsula, to the extent that there was a ruler called Abraha who tried to control, which we're going to get to that, he tried to actually take over Mecca at one point. What's known as the year of the elephant, the famous year of the elephant, Abraha tried to assume control of the Arabian Peninsula, and the Ethiopians, they ruled over Yemen, and Abraha wanted to make Yemen a kind of a place of pilgrimage rather than Mecca at the time. Got here some of the kingdoms which were in Africa in the 6th century. There were kingdoms in northeast Africa, the southern Egyptian and the Sudanese, and the Ethiopian Aksumite dynasty. At one point, trading nation state and the first major empire to convert to Christianity. It began around 400 BC, gaining prominence in the 1st century BC, and Aksum is now located where northern Ethiopia and Eritrea is today. I mention all of this to give a kind of context to how Africa was viewed as well, even like among the Arabs in this period, that they were actually one of a superpower during their period, which eventually led to their downfall, by the way. As I mentioned here, Abraha, one of the Ethiopian rulers of Yemen, he builds a cathedral called Al-Kulayis in Sana'a. He then attacks Mecca in order to divert attention towards his new religious center. He attacks Yemen and then tries to approach into Mecca with an entourage, including elephants, which at that time was the use of elephants in history and military warfare was something which was quite unique, quite shocking as well to the people at the time. And this is mentioned, the destruction of Abraha and his army is mentioned in the Quran. Najashi. In the time when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was embarking upon his call, and the early Muslims were being pressed, the Prophet Muhammad, he mentioned to his companions that in order to flee from the persecution, that there is a righteous king, and if you go to his land, he doesn't oppress anyone. So the Prophet Muhammad, he mentioned this, and this righteous king he was referring to was Najashi. Najashi, he is also mentioned in old Ethiopian sources and manuscripts, which are written in Ge'ez, which is the ancient Ethiopian language, which is before Amharic. And the sources put his real name as Ashama bin Abjad. So the early Muslims and the companions of the Prophet Muhammad fled to Ethiopia due to the persecution that they were receiving. All of these aspects mention, or they highlight to us, like the high esteem and the importance that Africa it held to the first Muslims in the early dispensation of Islam. And why this caused fear as well to the early or to the pagan Arabs at the time is that they sent a delegation to Ethiopia in order to try to coax and encourage Najashi to send the first Muslims back. But rather, on the contrary, Najashi, when he heard aspects of the Quran recited to him, he didn't find any contradiction with his own beliefs about Jesus. And in fact, Najashi gave the Muslims safe haven. He gave the first Muslims safe haven. And this was something at the time which caused outrage to the Arabs at the time from the Quraysh who were against the Prophet Muhammad. Muslims were granted safe haven by Najashi. On the day he died, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, announced his death and prayed the janazah prayer over him, indicating that Najashi died as a Muslim. And there are a number of other issues as well, which related to Najashi as well, which some of the scholars have mentioned in the past. Islam in West Africa. So we could say, I mean, it's been said, Islam, we could say, arrived in Africa from the first, in the 7th century, from the time of the Prophet Muhammad and the early Muslims. Islam arrived into West Africa around the 8th century, and it was largely spread, someone mentioned, by traders. There was no conquest of West Africa by Arabs as asserted by some writers. So it has been asserted, and this is something which is important for the topic, it's been asserted by many people that, and it links back to this notion that Islam was spread by the sword, which again is a misnomer. The Quran mentions, La ikraha fi din, there's no compulsion in the religion. You can't force someone to accept the religion. It's totally unacceptable, this. And it's a contradiction in terms. You can't force someone to say it. However, it is mentioned in some historical sources that this is what took place, that there was a conquest per se, by force, by groups of Arabs coming in and forcing the people to accept the religion, which this didn't happen. Historically, it didn't happen. There are some historical sources which do mention that, but some historians have researched it and they can't be fully corroborated. Which I've got further details about that here, which I can mention, but there's no kind of historical evidence of there being a kind of a drive to compel or force people to accept Islam. Islam would largely spread through peaceful trading, as the same what happened in Indonesia. The same thing happened in West Africa, for instance. And in fact, a lot of the first people who spread Islam in West Africa, they usually, it was the kind of the rulers who embraced the religion first, and then the rulers, the kings, for example, they would then spread Islam to the people. But there was no kind of just warfare or by force or conquest per se. And that's something which is important, because there is this kind of notion that that's how Islam was spread. King Mansa Musa. This is a famous, was written or was drawn by a famous cartographer in Europe, I think in the 14th or 15th century. So this was sort of mentioned, this was indicated on maps, European maps from about the 14th century. And Mansa Musa is mentioned, noted within this map by this cartographer. Mansa Musa is significant in the history of Islam and West Africa in particular. He ruled the Mali Empire in the 14th century. And his famous entourage, when he made the pilgrimage to Mecca, as well documented in historical sources. And it said that when he went with his entourage to Mecca, on the way to Mecca from Mali, when passing through Egypt, he had so much gold with him that the gold it upturned the economy of Egypt at the time due to the amount of gold the sheer amount of gold that he was bringing in. He's someone who's significant in the history. I'm talking about Islam in West Africa. Then we've got the Songhai Empire, and they ruled what is now modern-day Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso from the early 15th to the late 16th century. Some of their famous rulers included Sunni Ali and Aski Muhammad, and Songhai was sacked in 1591 by the Saadi dynasty of Morocco, which we're going to get to that in a short while. Songhai economy was based on gold and salt, and their governors were appointed over local states around the Niger Valley. Each town was represented by government officials holding positions and responsibilities similar to today's central bureaucrats. And Timbuktu was the educational and religious centre, and learning was encouraged and supported by the rulers. The rulers gained reputations for their generosity. This was the era where I think someone mentioned about Timbuktu, the importance of Timbuktu. Well, there's a saying in English, from here to Timbuktu. That saying that gained its prominence from the medieval European period due to the fame and the repute of Timbuktu. Was well known as an educational and religious centre. And there's also books upon astronomy and so forth, which also studied that. Okay. Is that all? Okay. Slavery in early Islam. Right. So maybe in the question and answer session we will get into more detail. But I think at first it is important to say, and I was mentioning this to Muawiyah when I was coming up, that I think it is important as Muslims that we do deal with certain uncomfortable events which happened in history. Not necessarily which were done in the name of Islam, but were done by Muslims, which happened in history. And there were some, before we get into this topic, I only got 5 minutes left, so probably later on in the question and answer session I'll have to go into this more in depth if it comes up. But there were aspects of history which I think are important Muslims that we understand and we comprehend, which is that there were some negative instances with regards to slavery in Islamic history. There were some things which are uncomfortable things which happened. An aspect of this was how slavery manifested in parts of the Muslim world, in particular instances as well, in particular countries. In Islam, what we do have to bear in mind is that Islam was very unique. Slavery was in existence in the 7th century. Slavery was already in existence. What was unique and quite revolutionary, which many historians have said, was that Islam came with the recourse and the emphasis on that slaves should be freed. And not only should slaves be freed, but also humane treatment and making means like what are called mukhatiba, arrangements, so agreements and arrangements to free slaves. All of this was emphasized in Islam. There are numerous stories of the early Muslim generations freeing thousands of slaves, especially during the early generations. This was something which was emphasized, and this was something which is revolutionary when we think about it. That didn't really happen in any sort of civilization to this extent. These are some of the examples, some of the early Muslims and the slaves that they freed, and the companions and all the slaves that they freed. And so I'll wrap up now because this topic's quite dense and the time I've got, I should wrap up by now. So if it comes up later on, maybe it's something which we can deal with later on. So I'll end it here. But in the question and answer session, if anyone has any questions with regards to that topic, we can explore it more in that topic. So.